Hello and welcome to a Blaxplanation of the 10th and final week of Fall Ball. We only got players this week. In Awful Evil, we have the Georges, who gain Norman Muggins. They fall from the Worms' shadows, having never seen active play. The Jazz Hands collect Stephanie Donaldson from the Fridays' shadows. They have also never played, but due to a blessing, became an alternate and a negative, as well as becoming unstable. Falling to the Firefighters was Rosales Darkness, last seen batting for the Worms, but originating on the Wyoming Dolphins during prehistory, entering the ILB through the Rising Stars. They had Ego 1, Siphon, and a Blaze running item. Chambers Kennedy joins the Mechanics from the shadows of the Flowers, where they have been since Season 1, but between Seasons 20 and 24 have spent brief periods both batting and pitching for the team. They have a traitor item. The Stakes add Egan Espinosa, who was last sighted in the Firefighters' shadows, but like Rosales originated on a prehistory team, the Canada Artists, and entered the ILB through the Rising Stars, arriving on the Millennials, but then being redacted and attracted. Egan was an attractor, Ego 1, Fire Protector, returned and scattered. And the Spies obtained Scratch Deloise, a base 1 Worms batter who also played for the Rising Stars. They were cluttered and had items with the Parasite, Gravity and Fire-eating modifications. In Awful Good, the Crabs collect Parker MacMillan, the Commissioner of Blaseball. They most recently were batting for the Tigers, but have an extended past, which is explained in the video I'll link at the end. Parker has 8 modifications, and if these all return with him, we should be concerned about incineration risks. Kaj Stata Jr. joins the Shoe Thieves from the Sunbeam's shadows, but they did bat for the team for 5 seasons. Kaj was scattered and smooth. The Tigers get Adrian Mellon, who falls from the Pies' shadows. They have never seen active play, but were made unstable. The Sunbeams gain George Owens, a player in the Shoe Thieves' shadows, meaning this week the two teams have swapped. George has no gains to their name, but were unscattered and unstable. Dunlap Figueroa falls to the Dalle, having last been in the Lift shadows. They have played for 8 other teams, having been in possession of the 5th base for a while, and thus roaming. They were an alternate, negative, and Ego 1. And the Pies acquire Tucker Thane, who has been in the Firefighters' shadows since Season 17. Tucker was an alternate, negative, and scattered. In Chaotic Good, the Flowers add Jenkins Ingram, who was one of their own players, and has spent most of their time in the shadows, apart from 50 days spent batting. They have a traitor item. The Moist Talkers gain Paula Reddick, a Sunbeam's shadows player, who also batted for them for 9 seasons. Paula was ambitious and scattered. Falling to the Breath Mints is Lorcan Smart, who was previously a Crabs pitcher. Lorcan was an alternate, negative, heist expert, undertaker, and had a flickering and fireproof item. The Tacos catch Donya Bailey, who falls from the Sunbeam's shadows, but they were stolen from the Spies by the Thieves Guild. Donya had been pitching for the team. They were scattered. The Millennials collect Jana Beats, a Lift Shadows player who has never seen active play. Wanda Shen falls to the Lovers, last seen batting for the Tacos as a base 1 player, but having also played for the Firefighters and Worms. Wanda was elsewhere and scattered when entering the Black Hole, as well as a Subtractor, Undertaker, and being in possession of items with the Underhanded and Traitor modifications. And in Chaotic Evil, the Fridays acquire Stephanie Schmidt, a player in the Tacos shadows who was gachaponned from the Flowers. They have never seen active play, but were scattered with a traitor item. Anastasia is a Robot joins the Wild Wings from the Firefighters' shadows, where they have been since Season 16. Despite never playing, they were an alternate, negative, and scattered. Falling to the Worms is Winnie Hess, previously a Breath Mints batter, but they started their career as a pitcher. They've also played for the Crabs and the Rising Stars, and as such they have the Ego Plus modification, Siphon, and a travelling item. The Garages receive Seren Moss from the Tacos shadows, where they have spent their whole career since Season 14. Tad Blortles falls to the Lift. They also joined the ILB in Season 14. in the Flowers' shadows, where they also gained a traitor item. And the Magic add Vernon Shotwell, last seen batting for the Shoe Thieves, but they have also been a pitcher. Vernon was scattered and had an item with the chunky and high-pressure modifications. This was the last Fall Ball, so the teams will be starting the new era with 10 players each. The Crabs gained 1 extra player this week, but will still sit last for familiar faces. The Fridays become the first team to collect 4 of a kind, as they add a 4th taco to their team. The Tigers have no 2 players from the same team. The Shoe Thieves had the second highest number of players return, seeing 14 of theirs fall. The Magic join the Fridays in collecting 4 of a kind, as they get their 4th Shoe Thief. The Tacos now have 3 of a kind with 3 Sunbeams on their roster, but the Flowers don't have any doubles. The Garages and Tacos draw for most returned players, each with 18, and as the 2 teams who won the Gachapon blessings and expanded their shadows, this is not a surprise. The Spies make up the last of just 3 teams that don't have 2 of a kind, whilst the Garages get their 3rd pair. Thank you for joining me for another Blaxplanation. I'll be back with more Blaseball fun and facts soon, but until then, rejoice, play ball.